Here are some early stories from this year's World Cup. Hey there, everyone, it's Jeff, and this is Plain English on Monday, July 6th, 2026. That puts us in the round of 16 in this year's World Cup. Now, I can't tell you much about the latest games because I record these episodes in advance. Not far enough in advance for JR's liking, but I do record them in advance. So today, as I'm recording, I don't know the latest results. But there were some early stories from this year's World Cup that we can talk about, and that's what we'll do on today's episode. This is a great Plain English episode because you get to hear about what's going on right now in the world. These are stories you may have heard about in your own language, but now you get to hear about them in English. And that's what we do here. So if you haven't signed up at plainenglish.com yet, do that today. You can pick your favorite topics and find stories that you're interested in. This is episode 879, so you can find the full lesson at plainenglish.com/879. Listen up if you speak Spanish, Portuguese, Chinese, German, French, Italian, Japanese, Polish, or Turkish. One of the most frustrating things about listening and reading in a second language is being confused by unfamiliar words or phrases. When you listen to Plain English, or when you read the transcript, you probably encounter some words you don't know. When that happens, you have a few options. You can stop the audio, go look up the definition, then return to the episode, find your place, and press play again, but that's exhausting. Or you can just skip it and be confused. That's no fun either. But what if you could see the translation of the word into your language instantly without having to stop the audio, without having to look anything up? Well, you can at plainenglish.com. For each episode, we translate about 100 words and phrases from English to 9 languages: Spanish, Portuguese, Chinese, German, French, Italian, Japanese, Polish, and Turkish. And we highlight those words in blue. All you have to do is hover your mouse over the highlighted word, and you'll see the translation instantly. It works great on mobile too. It really makes listening a lot more satisfying, and it's a great way to expand your vocabulary in English. The best way to see these translations is to sign up for a free 14-day trial at plainenglish.com. During your trial, you can read as many transcripts as you like, all with the translations into your language. So sign up for your free trial today at plainenglish.com. When the World Cup kicked off in Mexico City in June 2026, it marked the beginning of a unique tournament. It's the first World Cup to be hosted in 3 countries, and the first to feature 48 rather than 32 teams. Here are 5 stories to emerge from the early going at the 2026 World Cup. Start with ticket sales. Gianni Infantino, FIFA's president, left no doubt about his ticket strategy. World Cup tickets would not be cheap this year. International soccer's governing body intended to set prices high, boost prices as demand increased, and charge extra fees for fans selling tickets on the resale market. But this year would also feature 104 matches, 40 more than prior years, to accommodate the larger field. So the prices would be higher, but the supply of games would also be higher. Would FIFA be able to sell out so many games if the prices were so high? Television cameras caught wide sections of empty seats at some early games in Guadalajara, Miami, and Dallas. By way of explanation, FIFA said that fans in Guadalajara were just in the concourses. This is absurd. It's more likely that many tickets were given to corporate sponsors and were simply unused. But this was the exception. Almost all the group stage games were sold out or were within a few hundred tickets shy of a sellout, even games between smaller countries. Sweden versus Tunisia in Monterrey, 51,000 tickets scanned, just 200 shy of a sellout. Belgium versus Egypt in Seattle, 67,000 tickets scanned, just 150 shy of a sellout. The atmosphere inside the stadiums has been electric. Demand on the resale market has held up too. And FIFA raised the price of the most expensive ticket for the final game from $10,000 to $32,000. So demand for tickets has held up. It's FIFA's world. We're just living in it. Next up, hydration breaks. Soccer is a physically demanding sport, so tournament organizers have always taken care to make sure players can pause, catch their breath, and drink some water if needed. Yeah, right. In fact, a defining feature of soccer, as opposed to other international sports, is that there are no timeouts and no breaks. There's just a 15-minute break at halftime. That's all. In extreme heat, soccer rules allow short breaks for players to cool down or to get water. But these hydration breaks have been tightly controlled. For example, in the Club World Cup last year, a hydration break was mandated only when temperatures exceeded 32 degrees Celsius. This year, though, FIFA has scheduled a 3-minute hydration break at the midpoint of each half of each game, regardless of weather conditions. Even games played in air-conditioned dome stadiums had hydration breaks. This has changed the pace of the game. A mid-half break used to be relatively rare, but now teams can count on a break in the action. If one team has a lot of momentum, approaching 22 minutes, the break could kill the momentum. FIFA says it introduced the universal hydration breaks so that every game in the tournament was played under the same conditions. This is a plausible explanation. But some disgruntled fans have another plausible explanation: that FIFA just wanted to give broadcasters a 3-minute break to add more commercials. At its best, international sports tournaments can bring countries and cultures together, and the World Cup appears to be doing that in 2026. South Korea and Mexico have a soccer friendship that goes back to 2018. In that year, South Korea defeated soccer powerhouse Germany in a stunning upset. That allowed Mexico to advance in the tournament and keep its World Cup dreams alive. Mexicans have not forgotten the favor. Hundreds of Mexican fans welcomed the South Korean team to their hotel in Guadalajara, where the South Korean team has its training base. Korean fans dressed up in mariachi uniforms and shared tequila shots with the locals. At a pre-tournament festival, one Korean fan crowd surfed in a sea of green Mexican jerseys. It also helps that the two countries are friendly off the soccer pitch. South Korea is one of Mexico's biggest foreign investors, and Mexicans are mad for K-pop. There's a tartan takeover in Boston. Scotland qualified for the World Cup for the first time in 28 years, and their fans are taking full advantage. Scotland's team is training in Boston, where its first game was held. About 50,000 Scotland fans descended on the city and immediately put this hard-drinking town to shame. Boston is proud of its Irish heritage, its beer-making tradition, and its beer-drinking tradition, but it was no match for the Scottish fans. The Samuel Adams Tap Room ran out of Boston's signature Sam Adams beer. Scottish fans drank 4 times as much as the bar sells on a typical holiday weekend. They had to request an emergency shipment from the brewery. Other bars reported record sales. The Red Sox baseball team quickly organized a Scottish night with tartan-themed uniforms. Boston residents reported waking up to the sounds of bagpipes on the streets. Kilts, iron brew soda, and the blue and white Scottish flag were common sights around the city. Oh, and Scottish fans brought their own unique tradition. They snag orange traffic cones from the streets and place them on top of statues. This is common in Scotland, so they started doing it in Boston. And Boston has a lot of statues. During the first week of the World Cup, many Bostonians were confused about why so many of their statues were wearing orange traffic cones on their heads. Jeremy Doku is a player for the Belgian national team, and his partner is expecting the couple's first child, possibly during the tournament. The 24-year-old casually mentioned to a reporter that he would like to be present for the birth of his first child, which would require him to leave North America for at least a few days during the tournament. Controversy ensued. One soccer analyst suggested that fathers aren't much help at a birth. The only thing you can say is, "You're doing great, keep going," one analyst commented. An analyst in France said, "It's a unique moment, a childhood dream come true." And no, listeners, he wasn't talking about a child being born. He was talking about the World Cup. And it outrages him that someone would leave the tournament for the birth of a child. "The baby will always be there," he added. That was harsh. Last story for you. Hosting a World Cup is a chance for a country to show off its culture and cuisine. Europeans traveling to America for the first time have indulged in the local delicacy called ranch dressing. Ranch salad dressing is a mayonnaise-based supermarket product that you dump on iceberg lettuce and tomatoes to give a boring salad at least a little flavor. You can also dip chicken wings, pizza, and raw vegetables in ranch dressing. Here is a fact I did not know. They do not have ranch salad dressing in Europe. Fans from the old continent are discovering ranch salad dressing and falling in love, so much so that they're trying to bring bottles of it home with them. America's airport security agency had to post a warning that ranch dressing, as a liquid, must be in checked baggage. Ranch dressing, really? This is what this World Cup is going to be known for? We have the vuvuzelas in South Africa, the non-alcoholic beer in Qatar, and now ranch dressing in the United States. I can't believe it. I said I'd give you 5 stories. That was 6, but there are a couple of other headlines from the early going. You may have noticed that some players have cut holes in the backs of their socks. This is supposedly because socks restrict the blood flow, and cutting holes in the back of the socks reduces cramps later on. Medical doctors say there's no evidence for that, but if you look good, you feel good, you play good, right? FIFA insists that all unofficial branding be removed from stadiums before the games. This is difficult since most stadiums are named after corporate sponsors. Across North America, awkward blue tape covers sponsor names on signage, and white sheets hang over large corporate logos. At one stadium, the logos on bottles of ketchup were covered with a black piece of tape. Levi's, the maker of blue jeans, had some fun with it. A white sheet tightly covered the Levi's logo on the top of one stadium. It clung so close that you could clearly see the outline of the Batwing logo. If you've ever seen the Levi's logo, you'd recognize it covered up. The company even changed its social media branding to match the covered up logo. The worst outcome for that Belgian player would be fly to Belgium to be at the hospital and then miss the birth anyway. You could never come back from that. So he's either got to get there with plenty of notice or skip it. I know what I would do, but I'm not going to say it. That's all for us here at Plain English on July 6th, 2026. If your team is still in the tournament, good luck. If they're out, enjoy the rest of the games anyway. The semifinals are on July 14th and 15th. The final is on July 19th. This was episode 879, so check out the full transcript, exercises, and more at plainenglish.com/879. Great job, as always. See you on Thursday. Before we start today's story, I'd just like to remind you that the podcast is just one part of how we can help you upgrade your English skills. At plainenglish.com, you can make faster progress with active learning strategies. You can take quizzes, do activities, listen to the fast version of the audio, watch video workshops, practice what you learn, and even join a live call with JR and me. It's all about helping you build your skills to become a better, more confident English speaker. Sound good? Go to plainenglish.com to start your free 14-day trial today. Now, let's jump into today's story.